Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to lay out your personal map for building a seriously high-impact career in the cloud, and we're focusing on Microsoft Azure. We're going to break down all the certifications, the different career paths you can take, and exactly how you can get started.
So, let's just dive right in. Are you ready to launch? Because honestly, the opportunities in the cloud right now are just massive, and having a clear map is absolutely the first step. Let's go ahead and chart that course.
First things first, why even focus on Azure? Well, for starters, it's the world's #2 cloud platform, and it's actually the fastest growing one for big companies, enterprises. That means the companies you want to work for are using it, which creates this huge demand for people who know their stuff. And yup, you guessed it, that demand leads directly to some really high-paying roles.
All right, so let's kick off with Section 1 and really dig into why getting these certifications can be a total game changer for your career.
Think of these certifications as your official proof of skill. They're like a badge that tells employers you have validated real-world expertise in the most critical areas today. Things like designing cloud architecture, automating with DevOps, locking down systems with top-notch security, and engineering data solutions.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, the 4 certification levels. You can think of this as the legend for our map, breaking down the entire journey into 4 very distinct stages.
So here's the ladder you'll be climbing. It all kicks off with fundamentals. That's the perfect entry point for, well, everyone. From there, you get job-specific with an associate cert. If you really want to go deep, you aim for expert. Or you can choose to master a super-specific skill with a specialty certification. Every single step is a deliberate move up in your career.
For pretty much everyone, the adventure begins right here with the AZ900, Azure Fundamentals. It covers all the core ideas you got to know. And honestly, the best part? You don't need any prior experience to get started. It's designed for you to jump right in.
Okay, this brings us to Section 3, and this is the most exciting part. It's time to choose your own adventure. Let's look at the specific paths you can take depending on what you actually want to do.
All right, so if your goal is to be a cloud engineer or an administrator, this is your playbook. You start with the AZ900 to get the fundamentals down, then you master the real hands-on skills with the AZ104. From there, you can level up to that highly sought-after solutions architect expert role with the AZ305. Now for the super in-demand role of DevOps engineer. Notice there's a little fork in the road here. After you get your fundamentals, you have to pick an associate-level prerequisite. You can go with either the admin or the developer's certification. Once you've got that, you're all set to tackle the AZ400 and become a certified DevOps expert.
Thinking about security? Smart move. It's one of the highest paying fields for sure. You'll start with the AZ900, then you'll specialize with the AZ500 Security Engineer Cert, and to really become a top-tier expert, you can then go even deeper with specialty security certs like the SC200 or SC300.
And for all you data pros out there, don't worry. Azure has a dedicated path just for you. You'll actually start with the Data Fundamentals, the DP900. Then you build up your core skills with the DP203 Data Engineer Associate, and you can even broaden your horizons later on with that Solutions Architect Expert certification.
So, you've chosen a path. You've put in the work, you've earned the certifications. What's the reward at the end of this whole quest? Well, in Section 4, we're talking about your future job. And of course, the salary you can expect.
Let's just start with a big number to get your attention. An Azure Solutions Architect Expert can potentially pull in up to $190,000 a year. That number, all by itself, tells you just how incredibly valuable these skills are in the market today.
This table here really breaks down the potential pay by certification, and you can see the climb, right? An administrator starts in that solid $90 to $130K range, but as you specialize in hot areas like security or data, you start pushing into the mid-100s, and those expert-level roles, like DevOps and Architect, that's where you see salaries climbing towards that $200,000 ceiling.
So what are the actual job titles you'll be looking for? This list just scratches the surface. We're talking cloud engineer, solutions architect, all the way to more specialized gigs like an AI/ML engineer or even a cloud consultant. Getting certified basically unlocks the door to all of these amazing career opportunities.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do you actually take that very first step? That brings us to our final section, how to get started, like today. All right, so what's the big takeaway here? Look, don't get overwhelmed by all the different options. If you're just starting out, the path is actually super simple. Begin with the AZ900, get your fundamentals down solid.
Once you have that, your very next logical step is the AZ-104, the Administrator Associate. If you nail these two, you will have built an incredible foundation no matter which advanced path you decide to take later on.
So, your cloud journey really does start right now. We've laid out the map, we've shown you the different levels, and we've looked at the potential rewards. The only question left is, which path are you going to choose?